आज म तपाईहरुलाई B.Ed सेकेन्ड इयरको रिडिङ्स फर द न्यू होराइजन्स भन्ने मेजर इंग्लिश सब्जेक्टको चाहिँ आज म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ यो युनिट 3 अनि लेसन 5 को चाहिँ आज म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ के सल्भ गरेको क्वेशनहरु म आज तपाईहरुलाई शेयर गर्ने छु। यहाँ तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ लेसन 5 मा चाहिँ वुमेन राइट्स आर ह्युमन राइट्स। यहाँनिर चाहिँ लेसन 5 मा चाहिँ रहेको छ के क्वेशनहरु को म आन्सरहरु म तपाईहरुलाई शेयर गर्ने छु। यहाँ तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ ए नम्बरमा चाहिँ हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ व्हाट डज हिलारी फोकस हर स्पीच अन। Hillary focuses her speech on the issues of women's rights according to her family and children, which have been the concerns of women in society's need justifiable look now. Freedom is necessary and necessary participation of women in all the possible fields has to be ensured. मैले तपाईहरुलाई पहिलेदेखि नै भन्दै आइरहेको छु कि यो क्वेशन यो यसमा चाहिँ अलि थोरै नै छ। व्हाट डज हिलारी फोकसेस हर स्पीच अन भने यसलाई तपाईहरुले चाहिँ आफ्नै रूपमा चाहिँ तपाईले चाहिँ टेक्स्ट पढेर चाहिँ तपाईले यसलाई एक्सप्लेन पनि गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। यो चाहिँ तपाईलाई जस्ट गाइडको रूपमा मात्र रहेको छ अथवा कुनै कुनै क्वेशन एन्सरहरु चाहिँ अलि पुग्दैन पनि चाहिने भन्दा बढी पनि हुन्छ अनि कुनै क्वेशन चाहिँ पुग्दो पनि हुन्छ। त्यही कारणले गर्दा तपाईलाई चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ नोटिस गर्नु होला। तर मेन मैले भन्नुको मतलब चाहिँ यो नै यसले चाहिँ तपाईलाई चाहिँ गाइड गर्छ भनेर चाहिँ मैले तपाईलाई भन्न खोजिरहेको छु। त्यसैगरी बी मा चाहिँ तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ whose voices are represented in Hillary's speech. Hillary claims that she presents the voices of the women needing social justice. It's women who are suffering from the gender discrimination and domestic violence. Most women still struggle with deprivation of education and health facilities, and such voices of the voiceless people are incorporated in the speech. त्यसैगरी सी नम्बरमा तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ व्हाट इज द थीम अफ हिलारी क्लिन्टन्स स्पीच डेलिभर्ड इन बेजिङ इन सेप्टेम्बर 5, 1995. It's women who are suffering from the pangs of gender discrimination and domestic violence. Most women still struggle with deprivation of education and health facilities, and such voiceless people are incorporated in the speech delivered in Beijing. Its theme, as Hillary focuses on her speech, concerns the issues of women's rights. According to her, women in societies need justifiable look and treatment in socio-political aspects. Freedom is necessary and empowerment programs can be best devised for guaranteeing women's rights. त्यसैगरी तपाईहरु डी मा हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ What did Hillary Clinton express in her dream? The speech given by American leader Hillary Clinton basically focuses on women's rights regarding education, health, job participation in politics, etc. And she expresses her disapproval of the problems like domestic violence, economic dependence, gender discriminations, lack of education, employment, lack of decision-making power, forced prostitution, and so on. She not only pinpoints the problems but also gives the solution against these existing problems in her speech. This speech was given during the United Nations 4th World Conference on Women of September 5, 1995, held in Beijing, China. She says that conference is a celebration of the contributions of women make in every aspects of life, such as in the home, job, community, as mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, learners, workers, and leaders. Everywhere, women have come together in field, factories, markets, supermarkets, etc. She adds that from this conference, we are focusing world attention on the issues of women access to education, healthcare, jobs, and credit, basic rights, participation in governments, etc. She says that if women are healthy and educated, their families will be healthy and educated. If women are free from violence, their families will be easier for their families to flourish, and when families flourish, communities and nations will flourish. Thus, this is not only the issues related with women but of whole planet. It is very important to empower women by involving them in politics, jobs, education, health, and at decision-making power, etc. Every individual of the society must keep in their minds that women's rights are the human rights, since women are the mother of every human. Thus, they should be given freedom to gather, organize, and debate openly for the betterment of the society. Hillary Clinton has already spent more than 25 years on issues relating to women, children, and families. During these times, she met new mothers, working parents, leading women, doctors, and militant women in different countries. However, these sacrifices of women are not respected. Their contributions are not valued by economists, historians, and government leaders. The more they contribute, the more they are suppressed. Women are dying from disease. Their children suffer from malnutrition because of poverty, deprived from go to school by their own fathers and brothers. They are forced to prostitution. No loan is given to them by any bank, and they are banned from voting rights in some countries. This is the violation of human rights. Humanity is found nowhere except in constitutions. It is the time to break our silence. It is the time of breaking the dam of patience. यो चाहिँ तपाईले हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। यो चाहिँ एउटा एसे जस्तै भनौं वुमनको राइटको बारेमा चाहिँ लेखिएको, अनि वुमन्स आर किन नेसेसरी नीड भनेर चाहिँ यो यसमा चाहिँ एक्सप्लेन गरेको छ। तपाईको यो कुराहरु प्रत्येक कुराहरुलाई चाहिँ मैले पहिले पनि भनिसकेको छु। प्रत्येक सेन्टेन्सहरुलाई वर्डहरुलाई चाहिँ तपाईले चाहिँ एकदम याद गर्नु होला, ताकि तपाईलाई चाहिँ आउने समयमा यो प्रत्येक एउटा वर्डले पनि त्यो एउटा वर्ड तपाईले पनि जान्नु भयो भने धेरै नै तपाईले चाहिँ त्यसको बारेमा चाहिँ लेख्न सक्नुहुन्छ। एउटा वर्ड सम्झिदा, एउटा सेन्टेन्स सम्झिदा तपाईले चाहिँ अरु सबै कुराहरु चाहिँ सम्झिन सक्नुहुन्छ अथवा लेख्न सक्नुहुन्छ। त्यही भएर मैले भनिसके यो भएको यहाँ हरेक सेन्टेन्सहरु यो लेक्चरको रूपमा मात्र नभएर यो बिना फोकटमा गरेको लेक्चरको रूपमा मात्र नभएर यहाँको हरेक वर्डहरु सेन्टेन्सहरु चाहिँ तपाईलाई चाहिँ याद गर्नु होला। त्यसैगरी तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ ई नम्बरमा डिस्कस हाउ द प्रब्लम्स अफ वुमन आर डिफरेंट इन डिफरेंट कन्ट्रीज एन्ड हाउ आर दे सिमिलर। The author talks about the problems faced by the women in the world, that is education, job, health, space for them in social and state affairs. In this speech, she pinpoints the burning problems of the women in the present world: domestic violence, prostitution, unemployment, uneducation, inferiority complex, and other several types of discrimination over them. The problems all over the world are more or less similar in nature. Problems like domestic economics dependence, gender and racial discriminations, lack of access to credit, lack of say in important decisions in both family and office, unemployment, lack of health care, illiteracy, etc., are common in both the worlds, East and West. Similarly, the problems of women in underdeveloped countries can be organized as a lack of political right, unemployment, prostitution, gender discrimination, education, lack of decision making power, poverty, forced prostitution, against women, violence against women, lack of health care before and after childbirth, etc. यो चाहिँ क्वेसन नम्बर ई को एन्सर रहेको छ भने त्यसै गरी तपाईहरु हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ यहाँनिर एफ नम्बरमा whose voices are represented in Hillary's speech. What kind of differences do you find in problems of women in Nepal and America? Hillary's speech represents the voices of all the women living in the all parts of the world. It is especially of those who are not getting opportunity to enjoy their rights. According to Hillary, women in America have the following problems. Do not have say in their life decisions, have to work inside as well as outside the home, lack of health care. In Nepal, two women have to face several problems like individual women are raped in their own communities, they are sold as prostituted, they are deprived of basic education, domestic and external violence, genital mutilation, deprived to own property, lack of proper education for children, lack of health care or child care, women's work skill experiences are not valued, forces abortions or sterilized against their will. Women have to raise children on the minimum wage. यो चाहिँ तपाईहरु हेर्नुस् यो चाहिँ पोइन्टको रूपमा चाहिँ यसमा चाहिँ दिएको छ यो एफ नम्बरको क्वेशन लाई आन्सरलाई चाहिँ तपाईहरुले चाहिँ यो डिफरेन्सेसलाई चाहिँ तपाईले चाहिँ प्याराग्राफमा पनि तपाईले चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ लेख्न सक्नुहुनेछ यो प्रब्लम अफ वुमन नेपालको र अनि अमेरिकाको चाहिँ प्रब्लम्सहरु के छन् भनेर तपाईले प्याराग्राफमा पनि यसलाई लेख्न सक्नुहुनेछ त्यसैगरी यहाँ जी नम्बरमा चाहिँ तपाईले हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ Hillary says women are primary caretakers for most of the world, children and elderly. Yet much of the work we do is not valued, not by economists, not by women's problems in Nepal. Elaborate this into any essay. Although the status of women is comparatively low and is deprived of enjoying facilities in Nepalese society, their role is as the primary caretaker for most of the children and elderly. However, their work is not valued or respected. Nepalese history has come with several movements and struggle for equality, women, male and female. This struggle is for equality, liberty, opportunities, and finish off the discrimination over them. As a matter of satisfaction, the country has taken new revolutionary steps to make women righteous, introducing the women's rights as the fundamental rights. The status of women in my country, Nepal, is slowly improving these days. In the past, women were marginalized and categorized as second to men. Their roles and functions were limited within the family. No education, job opportunity, political freedoms were granted to them. But at the present scenario, many women have got higher education, They are job holders in private as well as public institutions. They are actively taking part in politicals, so their status is better than before. Present steps have eased their representative in civil service, justice, judicial body and politics, and even in the law-making body. Here she talks about the problems faced by the women in the world, that is education, job, health, space for them in social and state affairs. In this speech, she pinpoints the burning problems of the women in the present world: domestic violence, prostitution, unemployment, uneducation, inferiority, complex, and other several types of discrimination over them. These problems all over several types of discrimination over them. The problems all over world are more or less similar in nature. Education, lack of decision making power, poverty, forced prostitution, violence against women, lack of health care before and after child birth, etc. यो चाहिँ यति रहेको छ यो लेसन 5 मा चाहिँ यो कति नम्बर भनेपछि तपाईहरु यहाँनिर जी नम्बरसम्म मात्र तपाईहरुको यहाँनिर क्वेशन रहेको छ, क्वेशन एन्सरहरु रहेको छ। यो लेसन 5 को चाहिँ वुमेन राइट्स आर ह्युमन राइट्स भन्ने लेसन को चाहिँ यति क्वेशनहरु रहेका छन्। यो क्वेशनहरु चाहिँ तपाईले प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु होला। यसलाई अब हेरेर प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु होला। तपाईले पहिला सुरुमा पढ्नु होला, क्वेशन लिनु होला। क्वेशन मैले तपाईलाई अगाडि नै सबै क्वेशनहरु मैले तपाईलाई बताइदिसकेको छु। क्वेशनहरु लिनुस्, क्वेशनलाई प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुस्, आफै लेख्न कोसिस गर्नुस्। आफै लेख्न कोसिस गर्यो भने यो जुन मैले बताइरहेको छु यसले तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ गाइड गर्ने छ, तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ केही आइडियाहरु यसले तपाईलाई दिनेछ। त्यसपछि तपाईहरुले प्र्याक्टिस गर्दै जानु। अरु क्वेशनहरु पनि खोज्नुस्, अरु क्वेशनहरु पनि प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुस्, त्यसलाई खोज्नुस् हैन। त्यसपछि तपाईहरुले चाहिँ अगाडि के रे एक्जामको लागि चाहिँ राम्ररी तपाईले चाहिँ प्रिपेयर गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। हुन्छ, आजलाई यति नै। मैले तपाईलाई यो लेसन 5 को चाहिँ मैले तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ ह्युमन राइट्स आर वुमन राइट्स आर ह्युमन राइट्स भन्ने लेसनको चाहिँ मैले तपाईलाई शेयर गरेको छु। हुन्छ, आजलाई यति नै। आउने समयमा म तपाईलाई बाँकी रहेका युनिटहरुको लेसनहरुको म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ सल्भ गरेका क्वेशनहरु, नोटहरु, इम्पोर्टेन्ट क्वेशनहरु म तपाईहरुलाई शेयर गर्ने नै छु। तबसम्म मेरो भिडियो तपाईले लाइक गरिदिनु होला। अनि त्यसपछि मेरो यो भिडियोलाई तपाईको साथीमाझ पनि शेयर गरिदिनु होला, ताकि उहाँहरुले पनि केही कुराहरु चाहिँ सिक्न सक्नु भएको होस्। र मेरो च्यानललाई अहिलेसम्म तपाईले सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन भने तपाईहरुले प्लिज मेरो च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब पनि गरिदिनु होला।